Hi, ladies and gents. It's FC.Liverpool, and it's going to be a great night. We've got great guests on coming on. We've got one here sitting here, Steve Evans. Never stop swearing.
And, try my best.
Try my best. He's a great Ned, by the way. We're all great Neds on here. And I've got this lad coming on. I just want to say hello to the people who just looked in on us. Valley, yes. Hello, dear Reds. Dear Reds fans. Hey, look at that. Hey. Ohio checking in. I love you, Frank. I love you too, Valley. I really love you. And Anfield Raw. Good evening, all. And look at all those pints. That's not bad, is it, Steve? You know, you get everything on here.
Get them down your neck.
Get them down your neck. And there he is. And there's our guest. Which are we on? Hi, it's Az, you're okay?
Yeah, I'm sound, mate. How are you?
We're all right. We're all right. And I've got one of our great guests on, Daz. You know this fella, and there he is. One of the greatest, honestly. This fella is superb. And there he is. Jamie Phillips. Look at
Jamie.
How are you, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Good now.
All right. I've seen you today. You was really. I seen you on the what's his name?
Jerry.
Yeah. Jerry's show. Absolutely brilliant. What a show he's got. What a show that, you know, they come out and they say wonderful things and really have a go. They really have a go. Every single one of them, Jamie. And I'm just going over. What do you think, Jamie? I've got to ask you right away. What do you think of Gravenberch now when he's coming over tonight?
No, I'm pumped. I'm excited. I've been wanting Gravenberch since he was at Ajax. I'm glad we got him, man. I think it's going to be fabulous. I think he'll work really well under Jurgen Klopp. I think Klopp will get the best out of him. I know a lot of people are worried that he's not going to play. Like, his problem was that by Munich he weren't playing minutes, and that's what he's getting frustrated at. I think Gravenberch will play more games than people think. You know, I actually think he'll be the number 6, personally.
Do you? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what I've always wanted, a number 6. I've always wanted a number 6 right through this window. And unfortunately, nothing was like coming up, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I'll go over to Daz. What do you think, Daz?
I'm well chuffed. I mean, for 40 million euros, I mean, he can play multiple positions, which Klopp likes. So like Jamie said, if we could, you know, teach him how to do the 6. I mean, he's 21 years old. So, you know, Endo, he can learn from Endo. And then, I think he's a good addition. I mean, we've spent 140 mil on the rebuild in the midfield. And I think we've done quite well. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't think we'd get another midfielder in. So Klopp's kind of proved us wrong there, hasn't he? You know, at least it hasn't gone down to, 10:59 p.m. on a Friday night, and we're looking at Arthur Mello. You know, that's shite. So I'm just hoping Chelsea don't come in with 50.
Yeah. This is it, isn't it? But anyway, he's on his way to Anfield. And what do you think as well, Steve?
Good signing, mate. Good signing. And I know, like, Bayern Munich only got him for 16 million, and they hardly ever played him. Like, a couple of people have said he's a flop, but he's not a flop. He came from Ajax. You know what I mean? So he's got something about him. He used to play for Ajax, so I'll have him all day long, mate. I'll have him all day long. Considering we only spent 140 million, Chelsea spent nearly that on one player, mate. There you go. So,
do you remember when we played? Sorry, I was about to say, you know when we played? Do you remember when we played Ajax in the Champions League when it was lockdown?
Yeah.
Gravenberch was playing in that game. Yeah, he was absolutely fantastic. He bossed the midfield. Yeah, and he was like 18, 19. So if you compare him to who we were going for originally in Lavia at 19 and him at 18, 19 when he was at Ajax, Gravenberch is a far better player.
Absolutely.
A far better player. So, look, understand everyone's still miserable because don't go on Twitter because it's still devil's playground. But everyone on there is just miserable. Like yes, we saw, and all people are tweeting right now. Oh, can't wait for it. Like defender next or his transfer window's crap. It's like, can't we just be happy for 1 second? You know, can't we just be happy for 1 second? We've turned our whole midfield around in one summer, and I don't think Liverpool intended to either. To be fair.
Well, did you expect that? Be honest, Jamie. Did you expect Liverpool to change the whole of the midfield around this summer?
No, I didn't think Henderson and Fabinho would leave Liverpool this summer. I don't think any of us did.
No.
Yeah, especially Jordan Henderson. I always thought Henderson would stay at Liverpool till he retired, basically. But no, I think that caught Liverpool off guard, and they had to go into the market and look around. And I think their main choice was Lavia. But if you look how much money we just spent on Gravenberch, it's exactly the same bid that we offered Lavia, around that 45 million. So they obviously see something in that age range. If you look at Lavia and Gravenberch, they're quite similar footballers in personnel, in stats, age, and the high ceiling they got. And Liverpool rated them around both the same kind of transfer value. So, yeah, I'm happy with this. I didn't think we'd completely rip our midfield apart and change it in one window, but they've done it. Look, as much as people can talk about the owners, and we all don't probably like them, but they completely changed the midfield in one window. So I suppose you've got to give a little bit of credit sometimes.
No, they do, but it's the way they drag the feet. They just always drag the feet. And Klopp wanted everybody in well before pre-season, and he wanted to train with them. Now, I think the fans as well were getting on the back. They're getting on the owners' back, and I think that had to force their hand. I'm going over to Keith. Hiya, Keith. We're just talking about Gravenberch. Are you happy with the signing?
Evening, gents. Yeah, I am, because I know that, last summer there was a number of teams after him. My only gripe is that he turned us down to go to Bayern, and look what happened and that. So that, to me is, well, why did he turn us down initially? Why are we good enough now to come? But we need reinforcements, and if he's the best that's out there, then so be it.
Hey Keith, we broke our Thursday spell. We got to actually talk about it. Yeah, I thought it was me and you that was like doing the voodoo. But now it's done.
Because I know that the flight came in, didn't it, today? He actually flew into Blackpool and travelled down from Blackpool, and he's had his medical and everything else. It's just the only stumbling block now is the instalments of payments, isn't it? From what I've been told. So and he's available for Sunday, which is good. And if we can just add a centre half tomorrow, I think it's not bad business.
Can you imagine your first time in England is touching down in Blackpool?
Yeah, those rumours, touching down. That was Toram, wasn't it? And Coney, you've seen them all in Blackpool. Oh yeah, okay.
Could have been worse. Thought he could have landed in Newcastle. So there you go. It's just one of these things where we are happy, Jamie. We are happy, and everybody seems to be happy now because we have solidified the midfield. And as you said, Jamie, about the number 6, let's hope that he plays the number 6 because that's what I've been screaming out for.
I think he might do. I think look, he's not an out-and-out 6. He's more of that hybrid. Jurgen Klopp wants a multifunctional midfielder. He's been after one since Gini Wijnaldum. He wants that player who can play in that deep line, in that deep line midfield role, and also can play that attacking role like Gini played. We've got Thiago replace Gini, but that's not Thiago's game. He's tried it with McAllister this season, and it's not worked. and he's tried it with Jordan Henderson last season when he was playing him in the 6 and the 8 in some games. So I think Klopp's been after this for a while, and I think Ryan Gravenberch and I think Lavia as well. I think them two players tick that box. Lavia more defensive-minded than Gravenberch, but I think Lavia in his career could go and play a bit further forward. And Gravenberch is that real hybrid where, you know, I'll watch, if you go back and watch him at Ajax, a lot of his play comes from deeper positions. You know, he likes picking up the ball from deeper positions, you know, so he is that hybrid kind of player. And, you know, under Klopp and what he will do with him, he did the same with Gini. Gini was more of a left winger, attacking midfielder, turned him into that hybrid 6 and 8. I think he'll do the same. I really do. I think he'll do the same with Gravenberch.
Well, do you reckon that, does anyone reckon that he could be, I'm not saying he will, but could be on the bench on Sunday?
What day is it today?
Thursday, yeah.
He's got to have
I think he
everything.
will.
Paper's got to be in by 1 p.m. tomorrow, I believe. So
I think he'll be benched because he hasn't played for a while.
I think Heath said that as well.
I think the only game time he's had was like the under-21s European Championships, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's never had really any club football to speak of. What do you think, Taz? Do you think that he could be on the bench?
No, I don't think he'll be on the bench on Sunday. I think it's too soon.
No, international break.
He'll just he'll be in Blackpool for a few days anyway on the waltzes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Donkey rides, candy floss. Kiss me Twitter.
Stream if you want to go faster.
Yeah. I remember them days.
But is it, you know, is Aiton Fat, who's a good friend of mine, John, and he says decent window for the mighty Reds, and it is a decent window now. It is.
Just need to get a centre half in now.
So what do you reckon, Keith? Do you think that we could get a centre half in?
I think we need. Do you know what though, Frank? The thing is, you know, there's 5 of us on screen here, and we've all said the same thing, haven't we? We need a centre half because Konate yet again injured. Matip was taken off as precaution.
Yeah.
Our backup is Kwanzaa, who's a 20-year-old lad who, you know, come on and made his debut. We need a left-sided centre half to cover for Big Virgil, and at the moment I can't see it, but I'd be made up. You know, if they pull something out the bag tomorrow and bring someone in, I'd be absolutely made up, and I would say yeah, we definitely need one.
What do you think, Jamie? Do you think we still need a left-sided centre back? Which I do. I agree with it entirely. But what Keith said.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit weird because we've let Nat Phillips go on loan till January to Celtic. You've got Kwanzaa's come through now that I think Klopp really rated for a pre-season. And I think Klopp was willing to give him a chance because he likes doing that with youngsters. But then Virgil, I think, is going to get the book thrown at him and be made an example of. And he's going to get a 3 or 4 game ban for me. I think they're going to make an example of Virgil van Dijk because he's a big name player in this new soft football rule that they've got now. World's gone mad. And if that's the case, and Konate, you know, you just can't trust him with these muscle injuries. You're left with Joe Gomez and Matip, you know, it makes no sense from the football point of view. It really don't. I just don't know if there's a defender there that we can get in within 24 hours. That's the problem now. You should have done this in the beginning of the summer. I think we get a centre back in January. I don't think we've left enough time for us to get ourselves a defender now. I think low January we're looking at the centre back market. There's that geezer at Bayer Leverkusen that we're desperate for, and the Argentinian. Is he the Argentinian centre back? Yeah, I think that's the one we want. So I think we're going for him in January personally.
Well, I think. Well, I don't think I know that was definitely going in for Andre.
Yeah.
From Fluminense. What is it?
Fluminense.
Yeah. And them as well. So I think we'll be getting them in January. But I think Liverpool now will be more solidified, especially in defence. Because with the midfield now, the way it's completed, to be honest, they're going to protect the defence We've got no worries about the forwards. We've got no worries whatsoever. And you mentioned today, Jamie, I was listening to you carefully, and you mentioned about the bench, and you just reeled off the players who'd be on the bench, and you said that's a strong bench, and I totally agree with you. But you go on.
I mean, if you go with what Klopp will probably pick as his strongest 11 at this moment in time, you've got Darwin on the bench, probably Jota on the bench, Gravenberch on the bench, Stefan Bajcetic on the bench, Thiago on the bench, Matip, Gomez, Queven Kelleher. That is
Elliott and Jones,
Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones.
Yeah.
That's the bet. Like, that is a far better bench than last season.
Absolutely.
You know, it just is. So we've upgraded in areas that needed upgrading, and what it is, we've taken the age of our team right down. You know, he's building for the future. He's building for that next generation. He's going again. That's what he wants to do. And I like it, man. I like it. And we've got more runners and more mobility in midfield now. I love Jordan Henderson. I've got the man's book. I love the guy, but he couldn't move no more. Fabinho, he moves like me after 20 pints. You know, Harvey Elliott, he's not really a midfielder in a way that he understands the position. Curtis Jones is mobile, but you can't trust his injuries. And now you've got Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gravenberch. Them three alone are just more mobile. They've got energy. They've got stamina. You know, it's what Klopp wants in his midfielders. You know, it's the way we set up and play. You need that energy. And that's why he's pinpointed these players.
Well, as Jay Kismet says, he says Gravenberch 21 and ready to play after being on the bench for the season, and he will be. I think he'll go out. That's a cracking little comment, because I think he'll go out to prove once and for all to Bayern and to us, the fans, because I don't know who said I think it was Keith who turned us down. He turned us down at the beginning of last season and went to Bayern.
Went to Bayern, didn't he? Yeah.
But I just really think that this is just my opinion, that he will go out and prove to somebody that Liverpool have done the right thing, to be honest. What do you think, Taz?
Well, I mean, Salah turned us down, didn't he?
Yeah.
Look what happened. So, I'm hoping, Gravenberch, like, there's a fire in his belly, and I think he wants to do good. I think Ajax have got the best out of this, 7.5% sell on. So they're frigging laughing. But yeah, it's a good price for him. Like I said, he's 21 on the world's his oyster. Under a manager like Klopp, I can only see him getting better. So, it ticks all the boxes.
Well, I like the physical presence of him, to be honest, because he's tall, he's strong, he's only 21, as the lads have said, and he's got the legs. What do you think, Sting?
Well, hopefully, finally, as Daz and Jamie alluded to before, we've got the replacement for Wijnaldum that we've all been screaming for like the last 3-4 years. I mean, FSG have known for 3 seasons, or at least the last 3 transfer windows, we've needed to massively improve that midfield, and now they've gone and done it. It's took the time, but hopefully he's going to hit the ground running.
I was just reading what Melissa Reddy was just saying there. I was just reading Melissa Reddy article, who I got a little crush on. But yeah, she was just putting it there that back when Liverpool were going after Bellingham and Tchouaméni that summer, Gravenberch was the 3rd name on that list as well, and they couldn't get either 3 of them because Gravenberch just going to Bayern then, and obviously Tchouaméni chose Real Madrid, and we all know about the Jude stuff. So apparently they're the 3 Klopp's always wanted. He's wanted, and if you look at all 3 of them as well, they've all got similar profiles.
Yeah,
they're that multifunctional midfielders, young, the next generation of players. So they're all got that same kind of profile. So it's obvious to me that Klopp has been after Gravenberch for some time. He's finally, for me, got the midfielder that he's been wanting in this system.
Well, I'm going to Keith here. What becomes now of Thiago, Keith? Where will he be playing?
Before I answer that, I just wanted to quickly say to Jamie there, Jamie's spot on. I think if there's a manager who can bring Gravenberch through, it's Klopp. Because he didn't have it at Bayern. He didn't have the man management that he needed at Bayern. So if there's someone who can do it, it's Klopp. You've got to keep Thiago. I mean, he's different to any of our... The good thing about bringing in the players that we have now, because of the amount of games that we can only rely on with Thiago for the season, it gives us that backup. You know, if Thiago is injured again, excuse me. But Thiago is different to any of the other players. The only one I see a similarity with, but I've still got my doubts about, is Elliott, who can split the back line, especially if they park the bus at Anfield. Yeah. So for me, I'd keep Thiago. Look, let him go on a free. We've just let 5 go on a free. Before that, we've let Wijnaldum go. We've let Origi go. I mean, the amount of players that we've let go in just the last few seasons on free transfers, when really we should have sold them for something a year or two beforehand, because we all knew Keita wasn't good enough. We all knew Oxlade-Chamberlain was finished. You know, I don't understand why we haven't sold them and got something for them. Emre Can, another one. So, but I'd keep Thiago for the season personally.
Well, Jamie was going on about that the other day, to be honest, what you just said, Keith, about letting them go on a free. And you were really upset, weren't you, Jamie, you know, by saying we should never have allowed this to happen. We should have sold them on.
Yeah. Selling's not been our strongest point in recent years. For some reason, I don't know. Personally, I think the club got lazy. When the pandemic hit, I think the club got really lazy, and that's from everyone at the football club, in my opinion. And we've been in a bit of a mess. But yeah, letting players go for free. Look, I think it's something FSG do, like in their other sport franchises. When people come out of contracts, they just let them go. If they don't renew them, they just let them go. It's as simple as that. You know, I think that's something they like to do. I think it's a lot of things American owners actually like doing. But you know, when you got talent, when you spent 95 to almost 100 million on Naby Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain, and they go for free, it just seems like a bit of a waste. And we could always tell. I mean, you didn't have to be Mystic Meg to know that they were going to get injured every single season. You know, it's just something about their bodies breaking down. Could have probably sold them a couple of years back, make some money off them. But hopefully the club can sort this out now. We've got younger players at the football club now that are coming through. You look at our talent now. Harvey Elliott's young, Curtis Jones is young. Yeah, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Jota's still in his 20s. Trent, obviously, Gakpo, Darwin Nunez. You know, these are quality young players coming through in our football club that Klopp's going to probably build this team around for the next 4 to 5 years. So if he stays, so the future's bright. And I'm trying to be positive, Jamie, this season. No more negativity. Yeah. I'm trying.
Go ahead.
The other day didn't work for me when I went off. But if I didn't go, I literally went off on my video, and then an hour later they decided to buy Gravenberch. So something worked.
Well, that's good, actually. I must have done. Well, listen, you know, Jay Kismet saying, I think this Redbird says to answers to Jay Kismet, we're going to cook now, bro. And are we going to cook now, Steak?
Bro.
Sunday. Yeah, this is it. The
last few games, no mugs.
No.
They're going to come and play, aren't they? So hopefully they'll overplay and we'll just batter them.
What do you think, Jazz? Do you think that, you know, now, okay, let's put it this way. Let's go back a couple of weeks to today, right now, you know, with Gravenberch coming in And this Endo, lads, where does this leave Endo as well? Is he? I know he's going to be a backup, and that's why we brought him in. But do you reckon now that at least we can go forward and do something positive this season?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think now with 4 new midfielders, that's where most of the problems lay, right? We can all agree after last season, the midfield was the problem. I would like another centre-back, just like everyone on here has said. There, I see no reason why we can't challenge now. You know, I think Gravenberch, you got to slowly integrate him into the team because he hasn't played in a while. But you know, the way McAllister and Szoboszlai have come in, like they've knocked me socks off. Like that's the Liverpool I want to watch. They're exciting again, like running, possession-based football, attacking football. I mean, we might score zillions of goals, but we also might concede millions of goals. But as long as we win, like that, you know, me and Keith weren't on Tuesday. I'm sure you were well happy with the Newcastle game. That's what I want to see. The mentality monsters were back, and that's because of Klopp. Klopp got the subs right. He got the tactics right. I mean, we were shite in the first half. You know, well, I mean, going down to 10 men doesn't help either, but it just shows me that team is together, and then you just add to the jigsaw puzzle. And I think we're still 1 or 2 away from frigging going for a quadruple again. I do.
Yeah. What do you think, Keith? Would you go along with what Jazz has just said?
Yeah. I think I'll tell you what, the signing of Gravenberch, we get a centre off, the rest of the Premier League will be looking at us.
Yeah.
Honestly, they will, because that we've got the strength and depth now. But the one thing that, you know, we've got, I mean, Enzo is someone who can actually play centre off as well. Not that I'm not sure I would personally. I'd rather see it, someone who plays there regularly come in as cover. And one of the reasons of letting Nat Phillips go, maybe there is someone coming in, you know. But I honestly do think now, you look at, I mean, Szoboszlai, 3 games in, the lad is going to be massive. I mean,
phenomenal. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When I first seen him, boys, I said to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
I said, this fella's going to be great. And that was the very first game. He was getting stuck in, albeit he was playing out of position. And as he started to get used to it, and he started to get used to, you know, especially the fans loved him. And he knew this. So he started playing for them. What do you think, Steve, you know, about Szoboszlai?
You go back to the Chelsea game where he did that run at their defence, and their defence just shit themselves. They were like, what the hell's going on here? Obviously, Jota took the ball off and I was screaming at me, telling me, what are you doing? But he goes and does the same thing again on Sunday. And he ended up on the deck, and the Newcastle player still couldn't take the ball off him.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see out of a Liverpool midfielder.
Yeah.
He's absolute class.
Well, it's a question. I'll go straight to Jamie for this.
Go on.
Do you, and it's off Neil Broderick, do you think Salah's heads will be turned with the Saudi dash?
Whose head wouldn't be? I mean, like, if you're offering him 350, he gets paid 350 grand a week. If they're offering him 350 grand a day, you know, I'm getting on my knees and doing whatever you want for that. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, your head gets turned. You know what I mean? Money's money. These footballers, that I don't blame footballers for going for the money if it's available. I think we all would at times. They don't get retirement packages when they finish early in their 30s. That's it. You know, when you get to Salah's age at 31, you're thinking about it. You know, I've got probably 4 years left at the top of the game. I've got 1 big contract left in me. And then you've got Saudi, who are going here. Look, we're going to give you what Neymar's on at the moment. You're going to get all these endorsement deals as well. And they're going to put that channel on Egyptian TV as well, so you get money from there. How can your head not be turned? And look, he's the biggest Arab footballer in the world as well. So
Yeah.
going to one of the biggest Arab countries, he will be a god over there. He really will. Like they're talking about, like they got Neymar and Ronaldo, but they're saying talk coming out from Saudi Arabia saying if they get Mo Salah, it pales in comparison because they're just stadiums will be full, every TV, everything will go up with Mo Salah there, and he's gonna get paid accordingly. So I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah,
I think he'll go next summer personally.
yeah.
He'll go next summer.
I think I even see it's the whole of the Middle East who love him. He's Egyptian, but the whole of the Middle East love him, and just the shirt sales alone, Jamie, will pay his rent a week.
I don't know a bigger Arab sports star, let alone football player.
There isn't.
No.
I think we forget. I literally think only Messi, Mbappe, and Ronaldo are more marketable in football than Mo Salah.
Yeah.
It's just, and I think we're only going to realise how good Mo Salah is when he's gone as well. So still to this day, don't think Mo Salah gets the praise he deserves. I still think there's people there saying he's not good on the eye. Well, what do you want? He gets 30 odd goals a season. If that ain't good on the eye, you're watching a different sport.
Well, there's a cracking comment from Sarat Kumar, and I'll say this. I just want to say to the people out there, will you press the like, please? Will you please press the like? If you haven't subscribed, just press. It costs nothing. We try to answer all your queries, your comments. We try to answer them, just like we're going to answer this Sarat Kumar. I think we will be changing the formation to 4-2-3-1 because of the Salah situation on a Nunez form. We might play 2-8, a pivot there, a number 6 spot, and 2 wide players. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think we have to tweak it a little bit. If we want to have a good season, I do think we have to tweak the system a little bit because we are very easy to play against, and that is a little worry going through a whole season. We're still a bit. I think we play too high up at times sometimes. Yeah. When we've gone down to 10 men in our last 2 games, we played better because we've had to go a bit more compact. And when we go a bit more compact, it suits our players better. And we can still play pretty football. It's not like we're playing dead football when we go down 10 men either. We go more compact. We're actually playing nicer football. And also, we're not rushing it. Liverpool got an tendency sometimes to really rush their play. And you see Klopp on the touchline all the time saying, like, think, calm down, slow down. That's why I like Alexis McAllister as well, because he slows the game down perfectly. He knows when to hold on to the ball. Same with Thiago, and then you've got that dynamism of Szoboszlai in midfield. And we've got the best forward line in the Premier League, in my opinion, for squad depth in that forward line. City have got Hazard and Alvarez, but, Liverpool got so much depth there. We can play any of the 5, and it'll be a good front 3. Got good midfield now, young, energy, athletic, technical footballers that are getting a lot of these teams. Virgil on his day still one of the best. Konate on his day still one of the best. Robbo, if he can sort out his form, still a great left back. And Trent just worries me a little bit because I'm a bit confused with Trent right now. But if we can get Trent anywhere near his best, there's no one better. And then we've got the best goalkeeper in world football without a shadow of a doubt. So just tweak that system a little bit, I think. Maybe go to a double pivot. You got Endo there who can come off the bench, keep going solid. Thiago. We've got controllers in midfield now, which is something we haven't had since maybe Xavi Alonso. So I think if we can do that right and tweak everything a little bit, I think we can be City's nearest challengers. I really do. Because I look at Arsenal. I think Arsenal got a fantastic first 11 with some excellent young footballers. But I don't ever think their subs bench is great.
No.
I was looking at their bench the other day, and I don't think it's great. And I think we got a bit more depth in certain areas than Arsenal have. And United are shit. I'm sorry for swearing, Frank, but United are shit. I'm not even saying this. We're not even saying this to Liverpool fans. They are crap. Yeah, they are awful. And I look at their first 11, and I just don't think. I think it's quite a weak 11 personally. And if Rashford weren't on song last season, and Liverpool and Chelsea actually woke up a little bit, I don't think United would have been in finishing in the top 6. I really don't. So Liverpool got to take advantage of all this, tweak little things here and there, and I think we could have a wonderful season.
Well, you know, we were talking about a centre back and a left side as well. I really think we desperately need, and I think then Liverpool will be complete. I really believe that. And Anfield Roar says I really like Nkappi. That would be a superb signing, Daz.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen of him, he's good. But again, you would have thought you'd be hearing some rumours today, wouldn't you? Rather than waiting tomorrow, if something was going to happen for a centre back. I think that's why Phillips has gone only for 6 months and not a full season. We're going to see how the young lad does. But yeah, but I gotta go. I've got to go pick up the kiddos. You know, because
Jazz, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much.
I just want to say, everyone, please like and subscribe to Frank's channel, also Jamie's channel, and then if you wouldn't mind mine, and a big one, Keith. He's his premiere on my channel comes out. It will be coming out tonight, Keith. He did a story part with me, so we get to listen to Keith for an hour, just babble, waffle on and on and on. But anyways, nice to see you again, and I'll talk to you lot next Thursday.
Nice one, Daz, and a nice collection of tabs behind you there as well, lad.
Lads. Bye-bye now. That's a cracker, that, isn't it? That's really good. And Jay Kismet here, he says, if we get one more in before tomorrow, it would be useful after Nat Phillips headed to Celtic. And what do you think about that, Keith?
Yeah, Nkappi definitely is someone I would love to see at the club. For what's out there, I think he's probably the best of them. I'd like to have got the lad who went to Tottenham, Van der Ven. I'd like to have got him, to be honest with you. But yeah, you know, Klopp knows what he wants, doesn't he? He knows who he wants. Just get us another centre half. And as you said, Jamie, you look at the rest of the teams there. Arsenal have got some great talent. They're not mentally strong enough because of their age, immaturity, you know, in that respect and that. So because he went to pieces, didn't he, at the end of the season. So United crap. The only good player they've got is Fernandes, but you know, I hate him, but he's a good player. Chelsea, you know, they brought in way too many players in a short period of time. I think it'd be a miracle for them to be challenging. Definitely not Spurs. I think it's just us and City, and I think if we can bring in centre half, we're definitely going to challenge City. And you're saying about the formation change, and I've said this a few times to you, Frank, haven't I? That I actually would have liked to have seen us play with formation just to see in pre-season with a back three and having Robbo and Trent as wing backs, and then maybe playing the likes of Diaz and Mo more in the centre to run, and then have Szoboszlai just behind, because I think he could end up being a bit like a Bobby Firmino.
Yeah,
Szoboszlai, because the way he runs with the ball, keeps hold of it. He's got a shot on him. Some of the goals that he scored from what I've seen on YouTube are just outstanding. Then McAllister, Gravenberch. I mean, that I think that would be exciting. And Trent, there's not as much pressure on Trent and Robbo then getting back, is there? No. You know, you've got that back three. So, yeah.
I think that's what that Kumar lad said as well. You know, they'd be free, you know, the wing free to do the damage as well. So that's what his formation, what he was trying to say anyway. But the formations is up to, you know, the man himself, Klopp. But what do you think, Steve, you know, with this Nkappi, you know, if we could get him, do you think that it will just transform the whole of the defence?
Well, I think it's the current price that they're asking for, putting FSG off. I think it's something like 70 million.
That is a lot
for him. We're not going to pay that.
No.
But I have heard we're looking at some lad from France. He's Belgian. I think he plays for Nantes.
Oh, the Rennes.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that Rennes, isn't it?
He's only young as well. He's as well.
Yeah, because there was a room that Rennes were looking at Matip, weren't they, as a replacement if they sold him. So maybe that's something that can happen. Yeah, maybe that's something that can happen.
Did anything though, Jamie, you know, with the likes of Phillips going up to Celtic, that there is something behind that, you know, to bring someone in?
I don't know. Because I didn't know till today it was only a 6-month loan, or till January, whatever it is. Yeah. I thought it was the whole season. So they're only going till January. It's weird that we're letting defenders go without buying one in. That's a weird thing to me. Like I feel sorry for Nat Phillips. I think we should just actually release him and just let him go, because what's he coming back for? He ain't gonna play. It's a mad one for me. Like, what's their valuation for Nat Phillips that has never been matched? Why? Because I thought he was going to go Leeds for 15 million, like earlier in the summer. Then that didn't happen. Been loaned for 6 months. It's a strange one. Being a 6-month loan, I think Liverpool might have something in store, but I think they left themselves too short now. I literally think January, I wouldn't be surprised if we went and bought a centre back. That would be, we've been buying pretty well in the last 2 Januaries. They might keep that tradition going.
That's true. Yeah, that's absolutely spot on, because the Januaries seems to me that we pick up and we bring in quality players. We just bring them in, apparently. And I've got Brian Fennell there, all the way from Seattle, believe it or not, sitting at the back of his car. He's drove all the way from Liverpool to Seattle, and it's unbelievable. Must have a rocket of an engine. But Brian, we've just been talking about the new signing, you know, which he's signing tomorrow. He's on his way now to Liverpool to sign tomorrow. Gravenberch, what's your take on that?
Well, if we get the Ajax version, he could be very good. What I do like about him is, well, his size, aggression, physicality. I mean, after watching Newcastle just sort of, physically beat up our midfield and our players, it's good to have someone a little bit of size who can, push back. And it's going to be interesting to see how the our 3/8s play in the midfield. I heard someone mention a double pivot earlier, but that would work. But I mean, I wasn't really enamored at first, but you know, I'm just glad that we have another midfield signing, and he could be good. Again, the Ajax version, yes. The Bayern version, well, okay. So that's all.
The Bayern version. The Bayern version, yeah. You know, that, as you just said, when you first go on, we want the Ajax version.
Yes.
So it's the way we are now. And we've been talking about how we're solidifying now the midfield, especially we're bringing in 4. We're bringing in 4 with the likes of Gravenberch coming in. And now we just need, as Keith said, as Jamie said, as Steve said, we need a centre-half to just say, this is the rebuild. Just one more player.
Yeah, definitely. Frank, can I just, one thing that I just wanted to add what Brian said there. The one thing that we've got in our squad now is actually height compared to what we've had over the last few years. Because if you go through that squad, especially midfield and forwards, Nunez is 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
Gakpo, Szoboszlai is 6 foot. Gravenberch. This is something that, we not only there are we bringing in that fresh blood and young, and, we've also got to be good at set pieces and defending set pieces, which is a difference as well. So, I know Jamie was saying before about Nat Phillips. So obviously from my background, I've still got contacts in the media, and the one reason Nat Phillips didn't want to go to the Championship, he didn't want to drop down. He felt that he's good enough to play Premier League, And one thing that attracted him to Celtic is Champions League football as well.
Yeah.
But as Charlie Wood says, we need a centre half more than ever. And this is the. Can I just ask the people out there, please, will you just if you haven't subscribed, it costs nothing, really costs nothing, as you know, and just press the likes, please, to get the algorithm out there. Thank you so much. Thank you. So go on. What was you saying, Keith?
So yeah, because Leeds and Middlesbrough came in for Nat Phillips, but he wasn't entertaining going to the Championship and that. So, and I personally would like to have seen him. Saying there again, going back to the height of the team. Whenever sometimes as players and as supporters and that, and you see a team and they come out and they're all big, you're like, geez, they're a big team. That can be intimidating for other teams and oppositions and that as well. So that for me is a big thing as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your take on the size as well, Jamie? Do you think it helps?
Size is important. So, no, yeah, look, we used to be quite a small side, didn't we? And now you look at us, we've got a lot of 6-footers in our team, which is intimidating if you are the opposition, especially at set pieces, defending and attacking. I remember Mourinho always used to like big, 6-foot footballers in his team, and they were imposing to play against. They always were. Wenger the same. He liked them tall midfielders, Petit, Vieira, intimidating footballers. And that's something Klopp's definitely looked at, I think. And I just like the mixture of everything we got in our midfield now. I like the balance. Yes, we probably need. People will argue that if we got a world-class DM, it would just be, probably unreal. But it is what it is. We've got Lautaro, Endo. I think Klopp really rates Stefan Bajcetic. So, and he's a super little player. In my opinion, when we were going for Lavia, I didn't see much between them. So, maybe we look at the balance in our team. You got Thiago there, if he's ever fit. He's a generational midfielder, as we know. He's a controller, he's a conductor. You got Szoboszlai, who's just your energy with quality and drive. You got McAllister, who's your South American flair on the ball, that knows how to keep it, knows when to play it, knows how to control a game. Then you got Harvey Elliott, who's buzzing, who gets into tackles. I looked at Harvey Elliott's stats today. He gets stuck into more tackles than people give him credit for, and he's got quite a good long ball on him as well. That goes very underrated. You got Curtis Jones, who's got techie feet, and he's very good in the box at the end of crosses. And you got a lot of mobility in that midfield now. I like the balance in that midfield, and what Lautaro Endo brings experience and professionalism to that midfield. And then you got that brilliant forward line in front of it. It's very. I'm happy as a Liverpool fan. I understand one thing about needing a centre back. I am concerned about the centre back area. I can't lie. Virgil, making that tackle he made against Newcastle was very un-Virgil like. And, I think he started the season really well, to be fair to Virgil, but that just weren't Virgil a few years ago, but that's what happens when you get older. Kanate could be the best defender in the world if he wanted to be, but muscle injuries keep playing a problem with him. And Joe Gomez, who I actually thought played really well when he came on against Newcastle. Like, you can't play Joe Gomez in a high line for me. You've got to play him in a more compacted, with a more compacted defence and midfield. And he'd be absolutely fine. And then Joel Matip, you just never know Joel Matip. One day he looks world class, the next day he looks like he comes from Bromley. It's just it's a mixture there. And so I understand everyone's problems with the centre half area, because that is probably our weakest area now.
Jamie, Frank, just very quickly, you're saying there about Virgil van Dijk and that he got sent off.
Yeah,
that would not have happened. That tackle wouldn't have happened. And this whole situation, that referee had given us the free kick on Trent.
Yeah,
that's absolutely ridiculous.
Didn't Newcastle get the throw as well? Did Newcastle actually get the throw as well, if I remember rightly?
Yeah.
They got the throw, yeah.
It was balmy.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And Trent's head went, and that was the lead up to their goal. Then, obviously, Virg, which I thought wasn't a sending off, but maybe I'm being biased, but all that led up to that from that incident, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it is actually.
The rest are a joke, man. The rest are a joke.
Yeah.
It's just awful. The Verge one, I've watched that Verge thing so many times. You know the thing that annoys me about the Verge tackle? They only ever show one angle.
That's
right,
yeah.
There's been no other angle has been shown on any TV broadcast.
Yeah.
Right, it's the same angle. And when I watch it, for me, it looks like Virgil kicks the ball through his legs.
Exactly.
And then goes through him. Everyone keeps
Yeah.
going, no, he's gone through the player to get the ball. And I keep looking and I'm like, he hasn't. Like,
he got ball first. Yeah.
He kicked the ball like, so he's like that, and he's come here sideways and gone that way. But
I think the legs are tangled.
Yeah, their feet are tangled.
And he's just gone down like a sack of shit.
I don't.
Yeah.
But they won't show any other angle. And VAR, you know, and that ref is going to be the ref for the Villa game apparently as well.
Oh boy!
It's the same fellow who did the VAR. This Hatzadikas, is he on the VAR as well?
Yeah. Same people that did the one when Gravenberch got no, not Gravenberch. Sorry, when Gakpo got studded in the chest. Do you remember?
Yeah.
That was the same officials, and they never gave them.
Okay. Now I know we're up against.
Yeah.
Well, here's my question. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think Kwanzaa fits in this? I guess in this season, will he get playing time early? Will it be a good thing that Virgil's out and Konate's out, so we see what he has, or what do you think about that?
Young Kwanzaa, well, that's what Jay Kismet says. Jay Kismet, he says Kwanzaa has taken the centre back role, and I think we'll see more of the lad. It's just like when Jamie mentioned Batatic before. I think we'll be seeing more of Batatic as well. But I think we'll be just bringing him in slowly because he hasn't played, for months. He hasn't been in any competitive game for months. And it's just like Thiago, he hasn't since February, he hasn't played. So we have to, just ease them in, get them match fit. And I think we'll do well, to be honest.
And that's an ideal situation for a Badger to go, to transition in slowly.
Yes.
Now, this window makes sense now after getting Gravenberch and then Endo. I mean, sure, we could have gotten all three before and then brought in Endo. It's a different message to the fans and supporters, but it makes sense now. And Endo being the backstop, the utility person. And then you bring in Badger slowly, I guess over the cup matches or as the season progresses. I like this. As everyone's saying, it's a great move. To bring him along slowly and not throw him in the deep end.
What was you going to say, Jamie?
I'm just saying, my only worry with Kwanzaa, like we've got to be careful, the young lad, because he did have a good 10, 15 minutes against Newcastle when he came on. He's a big, strong, strapping lad. He looks the part. There's no doubt about it. If you look at a centre-back, he looks like a centre-back. But my worry is that I just want him to build in slowly. I'd love to see him play against Leicester in the League Cup. I'd love to see him in the centre-back in the League Cup. But I want him up again. Yes. I want him with a more experienced centre-half as well. Don't put him there with two kids. Put him up with a Matip or something like that, with a bit of experience next to him in the League Cup and see how he does, because I do think the club really rate him, because I think he would have gone on loan if they didn't. I think if they didn't think he was that's why I don't think we've gone and bought a centre back. Because I do think our club, we look at our youngsters and think if they're good enough, we'll give them a go. And if they prove us right, we're saving money in an area we don't need to buy someone who could be not as good as the player we've already got. So I do think they have faith in things like that sometimes. They did it with Harvey Elliott, done it with Curtis Jones. They've never, Harvey Elliott went on loan because he broke his leg. I think if Harvey Elliott never broke his leg that time, I don't think Harvey would have gone on loan. Curtis Jones, pretty much, I don't know if he's ever gone on loan. So I think they rate him, but I still like another centre back in so you can bring him in slowly and, train him up, coach him, be part of the first team all season, like Ben Doak is now. part of the first team all season because he's far too good for the under-23s and that. So they've kept him in the squad because they see something in him. Yeah, we've got some exciting young talent there. I really enjoy it. You know, I used to worry about our youth team. Was it good enough? And you see some of them coming through now, and you're like, we've got some good young talent that, you know, in a few years' time, we could be talking about these players. Like, thank God we kept them. We never let them go and stuff like that. So,
well, that's right, because what you've just said there, you hit the nail on the head about the young players, that is. Now, last season, through injuries, who'd have ever heard of Bacetic? I wouldn't. And this young lad now, this Kwanzaa, you know, who'd have heard of him? Who'd have heard of him? And yet, when I first seen him, I was watching that, I don't know whether it was a pre-match game or what, you know, in the pre-season, sorry. And I liked him because he's tall, he's fast, and he gets stuck in. And I went, who's this kid? I didn't even know him, never had a clue who he was. And people seem to like him. And Daryl Merry actually says, Romano said, we will be busy, we'll be a busy team in the window late on. So there could be a flurry tomorrow, Jamie and Keith and Brian, you know, to get in a centre half, because I really think that we do need one.
If the opportunity's there, Liverpool will try. If they're otherwise, like if they get wind that, by Leverkusen are willing to do a deal, I think they'll try. But if there's nothing like that, I personally don't see it. I think Klopp will feel like he's got his squad there and he'll go into the season.
Yeah, I think when you're saying there, Jamie, as well, I'd like to see it, but I don't think it'll happen because you've got Canate, Van Dijk, Matip, and Gomez. Then you've got Kwanzaa. Now, we actually brought Bisetic in as a centre half. We actually didn't get him as a centre midfielder. We actually purchased him as a centre half, believe it or not. I don't know if any of you knew that, but we actually bought him as centre half. And then you've got Endo, who can play there as well. So there's 7 players there who can cover the centre half positions. But we've seen it in the past when we had the injury crisis. We had Henderson and Fabinho there. Yeah. It doesn't work, you know. So don't try and put square pegs in a hole. You know, it's in a round hole, because it just doesn't work. If we want to really go out and make a statement this year, go and get a centre half.
Agreed. Yes, getting flashbacks to to get to 2018 on that. When we had Lovren injured in the World Cup, and we had Matip and Gomez, and sure enough, we did not buy a center back, and that came back to haunt us in late December, in January, and cost us the league. So, I really hope there's a move for a center back. Because like you said, our history, we played with Hendo back there, played with Emre Can, played other players back in center half, and Fabinho. It's okay for 1 or 2 matches, but we need a center half, and don't want to put all the pressure on Kwanzaa.
But sometimes I feel, I'm a big rugby fan, and the way that the Klopp maybe look at it is trying to put a fly half playing us in the scrum. It's just you know, it's tough. You know, it's really tough. It's just, you know. So for me, we need that cover.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Every tool serves as a hammer momentarily.
Yeah,
you're right.
Sorry, lads, I'm just looking at some of these comments here. Jay Kismet says, I agree at Redbird D9, didn't worry when he came on with Darwin and actually brought Gomez as a leadership out. He was constantly talking to him. That's what we need from Joe Gomez. So I think sometimes he just goes missing.
Yeah, I think he came on. I think Gomez came on against Newcastle and showed a lot of maturity and leadership, personally.
Yeah.
When he came against Newcastle. And I was like, where's that Gomez all the time? Because he looked like he came on and went, right, there's no Virgil on here now. You know, I'm going to come on and I'm the next one in the rank. I'm the one who's been here the longest. I'm going to take over now and take this defence over. And I thought he showed maturity and leadership. And when I look at that, I'm like, that's the Gomez I want to see. He was even winning headers in the box. I've never seen him do that in my life. He's terrible. Gomez. He was knocking headers away in the box. I was like, where's this going? Like, do that all the time, Joey. And we've got no problem with you because you're an athlete as well.
Yeah,
you know, you're still quick. So, Joey's just one of them frustrating players that we have that we know is a quality footballer and he's an athlete, but injuries have been such a bane to his career.
And his egg rolls as well, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have any of you ever seen him on? You can go on the LFC channels on Facebook and YouTube. Have you ever seen him take free kicks, like like outside the box and all that? I tell you what, he's got a hell of a ticket, and honestly, he's got some skill as well. He really has, you know. So he's a good footballer, but unfortunately, the injuries have taken a toll on him.
There you go. I've seen the future. Joe Gomez has never scored for Liverpool, has he? Joe Gomez gets the winning goal that wins Liverpool the title. There you go. I've seen the future.
There you go.
Legend.
You know, you wouldn't believe that, would you? And I think he's our longest serving.
Yeah, he's been a player the longest with Jurgen Klopp.
He's been there a while now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He came before Jurgen. He was a Brendan signing, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I think he was 17, 18 when we bought him.
Yeah, from Charlton.
3 million. From Charlton, yeah.
And he was very good. And a few seasons ago, that he was there with Virgil, and he was superb. And then he got that injury, and he really hasn't recovered from that. Well, he has recovered from the injury, but he hasn't got the momentum going, unfortunately.
That knee injury he had, though, was worse than Virgil's. It was awful.
Yeah.
I mean, the patella split in half, and then all the muscles behind it just turned into spaghetti, you know, and all the ligaments and everything just went. It was an awful. They kept saying that. The medical team were always saying, like, Joey's injury is worse than Virgil's.
Wow.
So, you know, I'm not surprised he's not the Joey of old at the moment, because it's amazing. I'm
just going to ask international Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, that was Jamie Redknapp. Every time Jamie Redknapp played for England, he come back injured and he was out for ages. And that destroyed him, didn't it? Really?
The FA used to have to pay us a fortune, didn't you, on insurance for him?
Yeah.
Well, no one should play for England. Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
I can't, look, I'm English, right? But I know you Scouse guys are a bit different because of everything. But I'm with you. I can't. Look, I find international football completely boring these days. It's not what it used to be. There's no entertainment in international football. I can't get behind this English team. And when I see the England team today, that, you know, you got Maguire still getting picked, you know, and you got Calvin Phillips being picked, who's not like, and I just like, I can't be bothered. I literally can't be bothered anymore. It's boring, man. I don't
it's
like
funny you mentioned Phillips as well, because we got linked with him the other day, didn't we?
He's fatter than me.
Stay away from that.
He's fatter than me. We can't have Calvin Phillips. I can't. Nah. Calvin Phillips at Leeds was a very good little player, and that's why Man City bought him in the first place. But if you go to a team like Man City and you can't get your body in shape and mentally right to play for Man City, then you've got issues, in my opinion. You've got issues.
Well, look at this one here. This is a cracker. We're all made up, you know, with the silence and everything else. I just want to say before, I'm going to ask you a question, by the way. Please just get on the likes, because there's a lot of people out there. Just please press the likes for me. Or if you haven't subscribed, just subscribe. Costs nothing. Try and get your comments read out as well, because you've got some great guests here. You've got Index, Steve Evans, you've got Keith. You know, absolutely. And our special guest now, so Jamie, honestly, God, he's unbelievable. Listen, just press the likes. And this Richard Hutchinson says, hi James, Mick, Dan, Blake, and everyone. How are you? Big up. Ryan Gravenberch for 34.2 million. Liverpool still need. Go ahead.
Left centre back.
Left-sided centre back, a right back, another midfielder, and right wing forward. Many thanks, Ryan W. Right.
Really?
Do you really think FSG are going to spend money on that amount of players?
Even though
new yachts to buy.
That's still a lot of players.
For his missus, not happening.
That's still a lot of players. You leave Linda alone. There's a lot of that's a lot of players still to buy in one window, no matter who your owners are. That's still a heck of a lot to buy.
We're not Chelsea.
Chelsea have bought average footballers, if you ask me. I wouldn't take any.
Just spending fortune.
Enzo Fernandez is probably the only player I'd have.
Well, we got offered him, didn't we, for like 15 million last year, if you believe
the stories. If you believe the stories, because I still don't know how real that is. I can't see Jurgen Klopp.
I think it's black.
No, you're right.
Yeah, I think it's a black story myself, like, but
yeah,
what do I know?
Ain't it?
Well, Tony O says we could get Fiat for 30 million euros.
That's the lad's name, Fiat.
Yeah. Good player.
Yeah, I couldn't think of his name.
But then again, you know, it's we might end up getting a loan, you know, a loan in, you know, a centre half.
I don't think Klopp likes loans.
Not enough half a mellow beds, please, come on.
But, you know, that's not me, is it? I'm just saying that's what we could end up getting, because we do need a left-sided centre back.
I don't think Klopp likes loans, because I don't think he likes developing a player that he doesn't think is going to be his player after a year's over.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think he really particularly likes a loan. I just don't. Look, he might be valued at 30 million till Liverpool come calling, and it's 60.
Yeah.
That's the issue. That's the issue.
Well, Charlie Cairns, I'm sorry there. Go ahead, yeah.
Oh, it's like Plenia, ain't it? Like, we were asked 70 to 80 million for him, weren't they? When we asked about Fulham about him, because that's who else we were interested in. And now it looks like he's going to Bayern Munich for around 55 million. So he just
it just shows you with this, you know, what Charlie Wood says there, before I go on to Charlie Cairns. The bench this season was the team last year.
Exactly.
And that's so spot on. And he's so right. And Charlie Cairns says, and I'm going straight to you, Jamie. Sorry, over to you. So lads, who plays centre half on Sunday?
Matip and Gomez. Against Villa, I think we'll be all right, because Villa play a ridiculously high line themselves. Yeah, I think we could smash Villa to pieces on Sunday. I watched the Newcastle Villa game, and Newcastle, with their quick attack, really took advantage of Villa's high line that they play. They play a very high line themselves. I think it's pretty obvious Gomez and Matip will play. My thing is up further up the pitch. Will Klopp stick Darwin in for this game after his brace? Because Villa's high line is they play that high line, they try and push up. Darwin against a high line where he can sit on the last man and stretch that game. It's going to take some man management from Klopp not to play Darwin, in my opinion, after getting that brace and being a confidence player that he is. So that's more interesting to me, actually, than the back four, because I think it pretty much picks itself. That's the interesting one for me.
Well, Jamie, I like what you said there, but would you say that Nunez, I'd start with myself, I'm being honest, but you think that he's more of an impact player as well?
I don't know, because if you look at Darwin's stats, they're not actually that bad. I think Darwin gets called a flop and all these names, and I don't get why. His stats ain't actually that bad. They're better than most forwards in the league that ain't called Haaland, really. He's got pretty decent stats. If you go on him and Suarez, same amount of games, they got both the same amount of goals. And he's coming into his second season. He doesn't really speak English. He came to a brand new country that's like completely alien to him. Haaland was born in England, I believe, and brought up here for a while. Easier for him to adapt. Speaks perfect English. And Haaland's an alien anyway. He's the best goal scorer in the world. But Darwin's been a decent player. I just don't think Klopp, he just doesn't do what Klopp wants him to do at the moment, and that's why he's been in and out a bit. But I'd literally unleash him. I'd Diaz, Salah, and Darwin against Villa. You know, with Endo, Szoboszlai, and McAllister in midfield, and with their Villas the way they play with that high line, yeah, stretch the crap out of them. Keep going. Darwin will get goals.
Well, Kenny, this is like Kenny Dalglish fanatic. He says Calvin Phillips on loan is the rumour.
Not in a million years.
What would you say to that, Keith?
Not a chance. Absolutely not a chance. Wouldn't want him. I'd rather have Paul Gascoigne come out of retirement and come in there, obviously, with half a bottle of whiskey in his back pocket.
Oh,
do you know, you were saying before about the forward line going forward. We seen on Sunday what we seen in pre-season, and that's the link up between Nunez and Salah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell you, that ball from Salah, the way that Nunez moved and moved to the right for that ball was world class. This is his second season now. This is his second season. He scored 15 goals in a country in his first season where he couldn't speak the language. I think this season is going to be massive for him, and I think he's going to, if given the chance, given a run, he's got to give him a chance on Sunday because he changed the game on against Newcastle.
Yeah, he's got to play. Darwin, I think he's electric, man. I think he's got everything in his locker. You know, you listen to managers across Europe that talk about him. Listen to what Ancelotti spoke about him really well as well, and said, you know, this guy, you know, he's raw, but give him a great coach like a Klopp or someone like that can coach him. He could be special. You could have. That's why Liverpool spent the big money on him, because they believe he can be special. And yeah look, I don't know if Darwin completely suits the way we play at times, but I think he's completely different to every forward we got. I think a lot of the forwards, Diaz, Jota, Gakpo, Salah, can be a bit samey. I think Darwin's the one who's completely different. Darwin just wants to run into space and shoot. That's all he wants to do. He doesn't want to link up. Doesn't want to drop deep. He just wants to get that ball up from Salah on the weekend, where Salah, by the way, in that number 10 role, I think it suits him, can get in that playmaking area and deliver that lovely assist that he ain't getting enough credit for, by the way. And Darwin's got great movement. We saw this last season. Darwin's movement against backlines is really good. But last season, Henderson and Fabinho didn't have the confidence to throw them balls into him and thread them balls into him. So after he's made them runs, no one's finding him, and it looks like he's running for no reason. You see his movement against Newcastle for them 2 goals. And that first goal, the equaliser, that finish, it's the only place he could have put it. Yeah, I like Darwin. He's a cult hero already, ain't he? They love him there. And yeah, I think we should just unleash him against Villa. Jota ain't been great.
It's only what you said. It's only what you said, Jamie. You know about on the training pitch, and he was a misstep. Last season he was a misstep, and he missed loads like that. But it's just on that training pitch and the coaching, as you said about Klopp, who can get the best out of these players, and he did. They got the best out of him, because those 2 goals, as I said, would have been missed last season, but he just put them away with aplomb. Absolutely brilliant. What do you think, Steve?
I love him. Agent of chaos, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? What he brings to that team, you just don't know what he's going to do. But as Frank just said, them 2 finishes last season, he wouldn't have put either of them away. He'd blasted them over or whatever. With Darwin, you give him time to think when he's running through, and he's going to miss.
Yeah.
If it's instant, bang, it's in.
Yeah.
And as Jamie said, that first one, and Pope's no mug, is he?
No.
You know what I mean? And he put it past him.
Good goalie.
Pope had no chance of saving that.
Yeah, I think Darwin. Do you know what Darwin does as well? I think Darwin's the only forward we've got that actually creates his own chances.
Yeah.
He does create a lot of chances. You go last season, he created loads, and he missed loads at the same time, and that's a confidence. That's a confidence thing. And if you give him that confidence, and he creates them chances, because he's so quick, no defender in the land can keep with him if he's on their shoulder and he's going. And he's so devastating. He keep that confidence up. You know, it's a bit like Emueski back in the day. Oh,
Yeah.
Emueski was a good forward, yeah. But he was a confident player. You know, Rafa, but Gerald used to speak about it all the time. Michael Owen used to speak about it. You put an arm around him, you know, tell him you love him, and he'll bang you a hat trick every game. You know, but as soon as he dropped off, you saw the drop off. And I think Darwin's like that. Give him that confidence. Tell him he's the best. Go out there and do your thing. Don't worry about all this link-up nonsense. Leave that to McAllister and Szoboszlai behind you. You just run, get in the box, and you're finished. You get goal.
I mean, for a forward, he does what I want to see a Liverpool forward do, and that's run at players and just cause havoc. You seen that Newcastle defence didn't know what the hell to do with him Sunday.
No.
Well, Kenny Dalglish for us, it's a message to you, is Jamie. Melissa Reddy is asking, what are you up to tomorrow night? She needs a bloke to date her mum.
So if her mum looks like, well, yeah, we're on. We're
all right, yeah. She's a big lad, you know.
Yeah, Melissa Reddy, she grew up a Liverpool fan in South Africa, I believe, didn't she? So.
I think it's great. Mary Wallace. Hi, Frank from Kennypool. Great show, boss guests. Thank you, Mary Wallace. Mary, if you're, press the like, and if you haven't subscribed, just subscribe to the channel, please. Thank you so much. Thiago and Betetich both have to be ready after the international break. It's been long enough now, says Jake Kismet. What's your take on that, Jamie?
Yeah, Thiago and them after the international break available to us again gives us new dimension in our midfield straight away. I want to see Thiago, McAllister, and Szoboszlai on the pitch at the same time.
Yeah,
you know, that will, this table will go up. You know, that would be a bit. Yeah, that's a bit R-rated, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. And then, I can't wait to see Stefan back on the pitch as well because I think this kid's special and he's got a lot of talent. I also don't think I think he can play further forward in the number 6 as well. You know, I saw his goal against West Ham, and and the way he started to get a bit more forward in the game. Starting to play that 8 role because he's got good technical ability. He's good on the turn. He's good under the press as well. Yeah, he had a bad game against Real Madrid, but you can't crucify a young lad for having a bad game against Real Madrid, for goodness sake. So, it's more talent in our midfield when we come back on the international break. It can only be a good thing.
So, listen, lads, who's you have? Who's you have in your back 4? And I'm going to Jamie first, I'm going to Keith, and I'm going to Stay. Who would you have in the back 4 against Villa?
Against Villa, it'd be Trent, Robbo, Matip, and Gomez. But I'd play it a little bit differently how we have been playing it. I'd just tell them to go a bit more compact. Beware of Villa's good attackers because they got a good forward, good midfielder as well. And they play with a high line, so they'll try and press our midfield. So I'd probably say just play a little bit deeper. We don't have to have 60% of the ball. Play a little bit deeper. And then with their high line, they're vulnerable. They're not as good as us. Hitting one of them direct passes, get the ball into the channel for Diaz and Salah, and get Darwin stretching their centre backs. That's my game plan anyway.
Okay, what about you, Keith? Who's your back 4?
Trent, Robbo, Gomez, and if Canarse's fit, I'd have Canarse in ahead of Matip personally. But I don't think Canarse is going to be fit until after the international break. So, that's to be Matip, Gomez, Trent and Robbo.
Steve?
Same, I can't deviate from that.
No. Well, okay. Because we were talking about Enzo as as complete centre half as well. So none of you care for him playing instead of Matip. Because Matip...
Do you not think he's been on the small side though for centre half?
I understand that, but the thing is that he can play centre half.
The thing is there though.
In Germany, wasn't it, with the football's a bit slower? So
the thing is there though, Steve. What's the lad at Man United? Not that I raise him, but Martinez. He plays centre half and he's five. So do you remember Paul Parker?
Yeah.
Remember He played centre half for England. I thought he was a great player. And he was only 5'8", I think. So I don't think, I honestly, because of, if you're up against a big centre half or two big centre halves, then I think, height is important. But I don't think centre half now is necessarily important for height as a centre half, because a lot of the forwards aren't like your Haalands or your Nunez, or a Drogba or someone like that. It all seems to change, don't they? So
yeah, be interesting to see anyway.
It will be.
Yeah.
What about your three forwards, Jamie?
Yeah, I literally go Salah, Darwin, and Diaz. Diaz has been exceptional, by the way. Diaz is just. Diaz is Salah, and I think there's something special for me between Darwin and Salah. There's something there. There's a lot of good chemistry there. Salah doesn't mind dropping deep for Darwin, which I like, because he doesn't mind creating for Darwin. And when Salah picks up that 10 central role, Salah's got a very good assist on him. He's so underrated with it. And he'll look for Darwin. And then Diaz is just this enigma, ain't he? Diaz reminds me of that loner who just wants to do his thing on the pitch. Give me the ball, I'll do my thing, I'll make something happen. It does remind me of Sadio Mane a little bit, when Sadio Mane would just do something out of nowhere. Only Mane could do that sort of thing. That's what Diaz reminds me of. I love the guy, and he's been in great form. That'd be my three. That is pace, power, technical ability, and you got the thing of Salah being the complete forward. He can drop a little bit deeper. The other two can stretch the opposition. So I feel if we go with Jota and Gakpo in that team, Jota and Gakpo like ball to feet, they come deep. And if Villa are playing a high line, that's easier for them to defend against. Just go with pace and power for me. Pace and power.
You just sound like Jurgen Klopp with a Cockney accent. All his tactics and everything. What's your three forwards, Keith?
yeah, same for me. I'll be going after Nunez's role on Sunday. I thought he was outstanding. The thing is, as well, you're right, Jamie, that for me, if you look at the goal that Salah sets up for Diaz, Chelsea, the way he set Nunez up on Sunday, you've got that front three are dynamic, really, and then, imagine having Szoboszlai, McAllister, and a fit Gravenberch or Thiago. And I mean, that for me, that 11, with the first choice back four as well, is a hell of a team.
Okay. What about yours, front three?
I'm going the same.
The very same?
Yeah, Salah, Nunez, Diaz. Imagine, Szoboszlai just behind Nunez. How much chaos that's going to cause.
Well, that's what I was going to say, you see, but you and Keith stole me thunder. And what I was going to say
the first thing you think of, Szoboszlai right behind them.
No, what I was going to say, who's your midfield, Keith?
Midfield for me, it'd have to be the same as what starters on Sunday. You've got to give Enzo another go, because he's the only defensive midfielder who we've got there. So it'd have to be Endo, McAllister and Szoboszlai for me.
Okay. You, Jamie?
Yeah, same. Oh, is Curtis Jones available?
I think he is.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
If Curtis is available, I can see him maybe going with McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Curtis Jones.
Sure.
Or Harvey Elliott. I've got to say, Harvey Elliott, when he's come on as sub every game this season so far, I think he's been excellent.
He started getting stuck in as well, hasn't he? So,
He has been getting stuck in, yeah.
And I thought he was excellent against Newcastle as well. He was excellent against Newcastle.
He was pressing a lot. He shot with a second goal where he won the ball and played it to Salah, who then played that
unbelievable ball.
That was filthy, that.
Yeah. And he had that almost assist to Darwin when Darwin's touch just let him down a little bit.
Yeah.
Sat in the halfway line, long ball.
Yeah.
Over. We've got options there. We're at home. That's when I think you can tinker a little bit more when you're at home. Away from home, you try and not to do that so much. But look, Klopp, I think Klopp really likes and rates Endo. You can see it already. So probably the same midfield three as the Newcastle game.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you know the other thing that you, Frank, the one good thing on Sunday is that Martinez can't waste time like he did at the end of last season. You know, the new rules, because he'll get booked pretty quick. He was wasting time. You know, that's one positive for Sunday, hopefully.
Yeah. So when Gravenberch, let's leap a weekend. So let's go a week forward. Gravenberch been training all week. He's going to play. Where does the likes of Batetic, where does the likes of Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, where do these fit in then? Because he will be playing Gravenberch along with Szoboszlai and along with McAllister, because you're not going to drop any of them.
It's interesting because Gravenberch, when he's up to fitness and ready to play properly, Trent might go. There might be games where we go, Trent plays inverted and he does a double pivot of Trent and Gravenberch, and he goes back to that box which he wants to play, and then you get the best out of McAllister that way because you don't have to. You can get further up the pitch and you'll see the more out of McAllister. Plus, Szoboszlai will be further forward in that attacking area. I think that's what Klopp might look to eventually, and Endo will be his James Milner. That's why Klopp wanted a Lavia. And that's because the rumours was that Liverpool will always go try and get Lavia, but will always try and get Walter Endo after. That was apparently what we were always going to do. So now they've got Gravenberch and Walter Endo there. I think that's where he wants to go. But I'm looking at the fixtures there. Like, obviously, we've got the international break after this game on the weekend. We're back on the 16th away to Wolves. And then we got West Ham at home on the 24th. And then a couple of days later, we've got the Leicester game. I think Klopp's going to take his time with Gravenberch. He's not had much football in 12 months. I don't think he's going to throw him straight in there. I think this international break, I don't think Gravenberch is going away with the Dutch side. So I think he can work on his game, get him training, maybe some little games and that. And then that Wolves game, he might be in the squad. And then in the squad for the West Ham game. And then he might actually make his first team full debut in the cup game against Leicester, bringing him slowly because he hasn't had a lot of football in the last 12 months. He had playing a lot for Bayern Munich and he was in and out a lot and he was having a lot of minutes. Then I'd say put him in straight away, but you don't want to do that to him. You want to take your time. We don't need to rush him there. Thiago and Stefano are going to be back after the international break, so they're available to go. So we don't need to rush him. That's the good thing about it.
Well, this lad's here, the Awakening Phoenix. The Awakening Phoenix. Great signing, although we needed a natural six with a dog mentality, in my opinion. How you guys feel about Salah's department? You know, going like that's what it might go for. Is that Kvaratskhelia?
Kvaratskhelia.
Oh, all right. Oh, dear kids, yeah.
That's his first name, I think.
Oh, is that his first name?
Yeah.
When this happens, what about this? You just said, and carry on.
Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah.
I don't really watch Italian football, so I haven't seen enough of him.
Is this the Napoli kid?
This the Napoli kid.
Absolutely.
He is a good player, but I haven't seen enough of him to say.
I've seen him loads of times.
Is he the direct replacement for Salah? He's
incredible. And I watch Serie A. I follow Inter and I follow Napoli, as you know. He's unbelievable. Has anybody else? Have you seen him, Keith?
Yeah, well, you know that we both watch Serie A. Honestly, especially after we played them as well.
Yeah,
he ran. I mean, the only downside to him is his end product, but. He causes havoc. Yeah, and just he gets behind the lines. He is honestly, If there's someone, if if we got 150 for Mo Salah and we could go and get that lad 100 million, I'd actually say yeah. Honestly, I would. But at the same time, I don't want to lose Mo because we're guaranteed goals with him, aren't we? We're absolutely guaranteed goals with him. But if they did say, right, okay, yeah, we'll sell him for 150, yeah, go and get him.
What do you think, Jamie? Have you seen the lad, the Napoli lad?
Yeah, he's a diamond, a little footballer. There's no doubt about it. Part of me just thinks he suits Italian football, though. You know, because he has a lot more time on the ball. I don't look. Salah will have to be replaced. We know this. I think it'll probably be next year, but I wouldn't try and replace him. I would just go and get a right winger who's a right winger and not worry about the numbers, because that's what everyone. You know, if you go and try and replace Mo Salah, for me, is the best right winger in world football. All right, so if you're trying to replace the best right winger in world football, it's going to be a very hard task to do. You know, Barcelona didn't really go and get someone to replace Messi because, you know, that job's impossible. But you get a player that can play in that position and can do a very good job. And that's what Liverpool have to do for me. They'll have to look at a right winger available in the market who's a very good right winger, like a creative one. Maybe we go the opposite way around. We get a creative right winger that supplies Darwin more as that number 9, you know, and with Luis Diaz on the left. So you've got 2 creative wingers on the wings, with your main goal scorer being through the middle, you know, and then with the rest of the money, you can build up your team in other areas. It's like Coutinho. We never really placed Coutinho with a Coutinho-esque player. We went and got Alisson, Virgil van Dijk, Fabinho and Shaqiri and bolstered our team and made a better 11. I think that's how you should go about it, because replacing Salah's goals and assists and what he does is near enough impossible as a right winger. Unless you go and get Mbappe, and that's different, ain't it? But that's why I don't see no value in letting Salah go this summer, because there's nothing out there. So Liverpool got their job to do next summer. Next summer for Liverpool is a crucial one, because you got Virgil's contract will need sorting. Thiago's out of his contract that summer. Salah, you got the potential of Salah leaving that summer, because I think he's only got a year left after that deal, after that summer. So that next summer is very important for Liverpool, and they got to get that. For me, they got to start looking at that right now. This is the important thing. Look at it now for next year, because replacing Mo Salah is going to be very, very difficult, and you've got to get it right, because if you don't get that right, there's going a lot of heads are going to roll, in my opinion. So it's a difficult one, though. It's a difficult.
Well, Valley actually asked that question. Does anyone know this answer? Is Mo going or not? Keep hearing all sorts of things. And these are the rumours that keep going around. And it has put us in a little bit of a quandary, because, you know, you mentioned at the very beginning of this podcast, Jamie, that money talks. If money's there, and it could sway, it could turn his head. But I don't think Mo is that sort of lad to say, I want to go, if you know what I mean, because he loves the club, he loves the fans, he loves everything about Liverpool, and he does want to break records. So, you know, that's just answering Valley's particular question.
Yeah, I think Mo wants to get Liverpool back to the top again. That's his goal. I think that Mo going to Saudi Arabia makes sense, probably for Mo and his family and for everyone concerned when you look at it deep down. But I think Mo's still very ambitious, and I think he's going to be looking at it and thinking, right, I want to get Liverpool back in the Champions League. I want to play Champions League again the following year. So maybe he doesn't go next year. But the problem is our owners have got to offer Mo a new deal coming up soon, and he's on 350 grand a week right now. So that's the issue we got. If our owners are going to go, I wouldn't care if they gave Mo 400 grand a week. Give it to him. He's one of our best players. For me, Mo Salah should retire at Liverpool. This should be it. Keep Mo for as long as you can. I think Mo's got to come out maybe as well after the transfer window closes, because everyone's going to be nervous because their one won't close till the 7th of September. So I think Mo will have maybe come out. I wouldn't be surprised if Mo does, because he does do it. Come out and say, look, I'm with Liverpool this season. Don't worry about it, Reds and all that. And then we can all breathe and get on with our stuff, can't we? So
I think that's a good point. I think that's a good point, Jamie, because he has entered, even into last year, and I think he's just entered recently as well, that he'd like to finish his career here at Liverpool. Can you read that out there, please, Joel Miller?
Yeah. So Joel says, I agree with Dan. As much as we're mentality monsters and it's boss to watch and much more attacking we are, I still think Klopp needs to mix it up a bit, especially with his tactics. And sometimes we need to change it from a 4-3-3 to a 3-5-2, as that would work well, especially when we're struggling to break teams down. What do you reckon?
Yeah, he does. He does need to tweak it at times. I think Klopp's quite a stubborn man, and there's nothing wrong with that. Wenger was very stubborn. Wenger's one of the best coaches I've seen. So I don't think stubbornness matters. Pep's very stubborn. I don't think Pep changes it as much as people think he does.
No, he doesn't.
I think Pep's game is pretty similar that he plays his whole coaching career. He maybe just adjusts things for the players in his team. You know,
I think sometimes he overthinks, doesn't he, as well, Pep?
Yeah, and he overthinks it sometimes. But his main system is always the system. You know, but he just adjusts things here and there. Klopp's system is the same system he's played at Mainz, Dortmund, and Liverpool. Sometimes he adjusts things, and that's all he's got to do. It's just tweaks. The system can stay the same. It's just tweaks to it. That's all it is. And Klopp's very capable of that. And I think now he's got more players now and players that can do that. He will tweak it, and you'll see a better Liverpool.
Hopefully, we get our pressing game back.
Or the players we got now, there's no reason why we can't.
With that what was it he called it? Heavy metal football. With that pressing game, we're the best team in the world at that. Man City are the best team in the world at what they do, just passing teams to death.
Well, Klopp's anti-Pep.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Klopp is anti-Pep. Pep plays that style of football, and Klopp plays his style of football, and Pep hates it. That's why Klopp's got such a great record. Klopp's got such a great record against Pep Guardiola. I think he's got the best record in any manager in world football against Pep, because Pep can't understand the football Klopp plays and how it beats his teams all the time with what he would feel lesser players. He can't work it out. Pep's head must be on fire every time we play because he doesn't get it. And Klopp's the anti of that. And that's what I want Klopp to go back to, because I think we're playing this possession-based game a little bit too much for my liking, where we're playing at the back, and I don't think we're very good at it. And that's where we lose the ball in transition, always get countered on. I want Liverpool to just go back.
Be a team on the break.
Yeah, we are set up for the counter-attack with the players we got. We can obliterate teams, but I think Klopp will get back to that. I think he just needed the players. Now he's got that mobility in midfield. He can go, right, we can get on people now. We can press them there. Because Henderson couldn't press a button last season.
No.
You know what I mean? So, his legs were gone. Fabinho couldn't press. Harvey Elliott didn't really understand his midfield role. Curtis Jones could do the job, but he weren't available till the end of the season. Now he's got McAllister there. He's got Szoboszlai there. He's got Gravenberch there. He's got Endo there. Yeah, Curtis Jones is there fit. Harvey Elliott, I think, is starting to understand his midfield role now. He's growing into that player. Thiago can press. Stefan can. Now he's got these players, more mobility in his team. He can maybe go back to that pressing game where we strangle players. Hopefully that's the way we go forward.
Well, Vaza Flowers says, the Gravenberch signing has put a spring in my step, figuratively speaking, but a left-sided centre-back signing would see me leaping and bounding around the living room, and that's the way. Well, we're all happy, aren't we? Just imagine that will solidify, as I keep saying, the team. That'll be a great window. It'll be the best summer window I've seen since these owners came in, to be honest. And that would be it. But, if we don't, I think there's players there to fill in there. It's just that left-sided thing, which worries me. What do you think, Keith, about a left-sided?
Yeah, I think we all know, don't we, if Verge, and we're going to see it, if he ends up getting a lengthy ban, because of because of his conduct towards the referee and fourth official, he could end up getting a 3 or 4 match ban. I think they'll use him as a bit of an example as well, with the new rules and everything else. So we're going to see that if we don't sign anyone, we're going to see the likes of Gomez, Matip, Canate, whether they can cope. We all know, don't we? We need the left-sided centre-back. We all know that. So, yeah, hopefully this time tomorrow we'll be jumping around our living rooms as well.
Spilling our beer everywhere. And
we might not see Virgil play again till the Tottenham game, which is the end of September. You know,
Yeah,
they
that's
can
absolutely
game, which is mad. But
yeah,
we got players there that we can cope. There's no doubt. They just got these players like Gomez and Matip have just got to, pull their socks up and
step up,
get on with it and step up because they're capable of it. We know they are. So just step up now. Virgil ain't there. Someone become that player. No doubt about it. But going off topic a minute, did everyone see the Champions League groups?
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Did you see Arsenal's Europa League group they got?
No.
Arsenal have been at Champions League for like years, and then they go and get a Europa League group in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And then Man City get the easiest group in the world, like
always.
That was expected, wasn't it, though? So
it's I don't know what it is, but I think the Champions League's getting weaker, or is it just me? Because I've got so many teams in Europe now.
That's why it's weak.
No, I go along with what Steve says, and he he means it as well because we're not in it.
Yeah,
and every time we were in it, as everybody knows, everybody feared Liverpool in their group.
Yeah.
And when I went on to the knockout stages, whoever who was there in the knockout, they feared Liverpool. Everyone, including Real Madrid, by the way.
Yeah.
But that's when we had a team. This is the team I wish we had last season, so that we could qualify for the Champions League.
It's just a year off. We're giving everyone a year off.
Why not?
But I can't wait for our Europa League group tomorrow. Wait till you see the teams we're going to draw.
I hope we get Rangers.
I don't think we can, because I don't think British teams can be drawn in the same Europa League group this year. I think they changed the rule. I'm not sure. But I think we're definitely in pot A or 1 or whatever it is. Look, if you go on Twitter, the UEFA Europa League's Twitter page only promotes Liverpool on their Twitter page all the time because we're their biggest team in that competition. It really pees me off. And they're just promoting Liverpool constantly. So, yeah, I personally don't know if I don't know if Klopp's going to take it all too seriously, though. I think Klopp's going to put everything in the Premier League this year.
Oh, yeah, but you're still going to book your hotel in Dublin, aren't you?
If it's in Dublin, the final, that would be.
Yeah.
Man United, Liverpool, Europa League final.
Well, all the Irish lads, everyone and girls, they're saying it's buzzing. Dublin's buzzing now because it's only what you said, and it's only what you said there about the Champions League, the Europa League, that Liverpool are highly seeded, and they will get there. This is what all the Irish lads, everybody, all the Irish Liverpool supporters are saying. We're going to get there, and Dublin is actually buzzing. And there's a lad here, an Irish lad. Sean, I don't know, Clary, is that O'Cleary? It's Gaelic.
Yeah, I think it's O'Cleary, yeah.
Okay, and he says not enough done by the owners.
Yeah,
not enough done.
He's right.
Until, let's see, at the end of the window tomorrow evening.
Definitely.
So, it's those, there's, I'm not having a go at Sean at all. I really not. But when you've got fans, we were moaning. Let's be honest, we were moaning 48 hours ago that there hasn't been not enough done by the owners. Not enough, because we were going in with 8 players out and 3 in, and this is what we were saying just 72 hours ago. Then all of a sudden, 48 hours ago, there might be something there. 24 hours, and right now. And we've got this Gravenberch here, and possibly a centre-back. And that would just be absolutely wonderful, no matter who we get in. But if we got that theatre in, absolutely brilliant. That'll be made. That'll just be over the moon.
Definitely.
But what do you think that you know, like this coming Saturday at Anfield, and our stand should have been open. Our stand, and this is what was going wrong with Liverpool, unfortunately, getting the stand built, and they were taking the time. It was dreadful. I was looking at it every single day. And instead of ants being around, building the thing, there was just a few workers. And look at the mess now, especially with Buckingham. And no matter what, they never done the due diligence properly. LFC, they just didn't do it. And they got the cheapskates in, and the cheapskates going on into admin. I don't know whether they've gone into admin now.
As you say, they should have looked at that stand they were doing at Fulham.
At Fulham, yeah.
They still haven't finished that.
No.
Yeah, they haven't finished that yet, have they?
What? 2.5 years?
I think the stand won't be finished till next season now, I think they just have to leave it as it is this season. But it's a shame because I wanted to see that full 60-odd thousand fans at Anfield. It would have been amazing. But
yeah,
unfortunately, it is what it is. And unless they can find something, I think Billy Hogan was talking about it, weren't he? Although I don't think, I don't believe what Billy Hogan says. But he was talking about they're looking for, like, if they can't find new contractors now to come in and take over the work, because some contractors don't like coming in taking over previous work, do they? They don't like it. So it might be something, and they're waiting for this Buckingham thing to happen because they've not apparently gone into administration yet. So it could get done. They're hoping it gets done by October, they reckon, but I don't see it being done till next season now.
Well, okay, Jamie, right. This selling lark, Liverpool are going to sell, the rumour of that. What's your take on that?
Just PR bullshit, isn't it? That's all it is. We're always up for sale in every transfer window. Liverpool are up for sale. It's just, it's look. If you match FSG's price they got for Liverpool, they will sell the football club. But no one's matched their price. Simple as that. No, they want £5 billion for Liverpool. They look at the commercial revenue of Liverpool Football Club, the third highest in world football. They know they're not as valued as high as Man United, but they want something close, not far off Man United's value. And I can see why they want that much. I can get it. I understand it. But commercial revenue is it's an influx, ain't it? It can go up and down every season depending on where we play. And if the owners aren't putting money in to make sure their commercial revenue stays high because Liverpool are winning everything and in every competition, then that's going to go down again. And the valuation of the club's going to go down, and they won't want to sell it for a lower value. So unless someone meets their asking price, it's the same with the Glazers. No one's met the Glazers' asking price yet. That's why they've not sold. They want $6 billion for Man United. Unless that sheet offers $6 billion, they are not selling that football club. And it's the same with FSG. They're not selling. And why would you sell? You make so much money. I mean, personally, I think FSG are here till that. I don't think any protest gets rid of them or anything like that. I literally don't. I think they're here till someone matches their number. And if you don't match their number, I don't think they want a quick sell either. Because if they wanted a quick sell to build other sports franchises, they would have done that already.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think if they could only match our ambition, the fans' ambition, they'd be great owners.
Yeah, I haven't got a lot of issues with them. Like my main issue with them really is just the finances on the pitch. Because I'm sitting here as a Liverpool fan now, and we've got a brand new training facility. They're trying to rebuild Anfield instead of moving it, which is great. I'd rather it stay where it was to be rebuilt. They're trying to build around the area as well, which is a bit difficult because council permission and Hicks and Gillette really messed that up when they were first there. So they're trying, and if a new owner came in, he'd look at it and go, right, I've got the stadium's rebuilt. I've got a brand new training complex. Everything here, I've got no debt. finances are great. You're telling me all I've got to do is buy players.
Yeah.
I mean, so they're not the worst in the world. It's just that they've got such a good fan base in Liverpool that we're like a loving, caring lot, and we just like, you can get on our side so easy. If they just put more money on the transfer pitch and gave the best manager of our generation the money he needs to be successful, they'd be loved. They'd be loved.
Yeah.
They're fools, in my opinion. They're idiots.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's your take on that, Keith?
I think Jamie's covered it all. When he came out last year, they had no intention. It was all a PR stunt. They wanted the reason that they came out last year about investment was, and then potentially selling the club, was purely down to finding out how much the club was worth. That's all it was down to. They were never interested in selling the club. They were never interested. There was no investments, because who wants to come and invest in the club unless they've got a massive say in it or potentially taking it over? You know, it's complete rubbish. So they basically were trying to find out how much the club was worth. From what they wanted, and you're right, Jamie, they want 5 billion. From what I understand is the most that they were offered was 3. And they didn't want to accept that.
No. Well, okay. Getting back to our friends here, Sean O'Cleary, our squads are smaller than what it was at the start. How you can say we could challenge City? They have a better squad. You know, we all know that.
So you have a better squad depth for a player, but their squad's not as big as everyone thinks it is.
Yeah.
Pep has actually got a massive squad. What it is, Pep's got an ability of keeping all his players fit because he rotates really well with players similar level, so they come in and there's no drop off. That's where City are, where that money City have is great. But their squad's not huge. And us having a smaller squad, I think it's okay this season because we're not in the Champions League. I think this season we can get away with it because we're not in the Champions League.
But you know what, Jamie? I actually don't agree with that, because if you look at our squad last season and the last couple of seasons, Keita and Alexander-Arnold, Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain, they haven't played.
Yep.
So if you look at our midfield, especially now, we've got 8 midfielders with Gravenberch coming in. And, you know, that's 4 new ones. And then the other 4 of Elliott, Jones, who else? Trying to think who else have we got there? Yeah, I did write it down before. We are. So we've got Enzo, Gravenberch, Bicesic, Thiago, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Elliott and Jones. I think that's it.
It's 8 midfielders when we play 3.
Yeah. And you can play Gakpo in that as well.
Yeah.
So potentially 9 midfielders.
And Trent can go in there.
10 nearly.
And then we've got the best forward line, in my opinion. I know Haaland, you know, he's got a face that only a mother could love, but he's a great player. He's, you know, but we've got the best forward line in the Premier League. It's just our defence, and if we just get that centre half in, I think our squad is as good as City's. It's just that they've got a freak in Haaland.
They've got a great.
Well, Graham Tipton here, he just says there's plenty of choices in the midfield now, but we need to strengthen up the centre back.
That is the main story of tonight, isn't it? It's like, we're happy with the midfield now. We're happy with the forward line. We've got the best keeper in the world. We've got an excellent number 2 in Kelleher that don't get mentioned enough.
Yeah.
And it's just that back line. It's just if we had a better backup for Trent that could come in and is a bit more defensively now than Trent is, then you free up Trent maybe to get more forward, and you've got a more defensive-minded right back there. Then you're looking at him and thinking, where are we actually weak? Where are we actually weak? When you put them little bits in, that's when you talk. And
totally right. Yeah, because Bradley's out now, isn't he? He's got a fracture of his back, so he's out.
Christmas, they said, didn't they? Something like that. Poor sod. And I think Klopp really rated him in pre-season and wanted to give him a chance.
Yeah, Conor Bradley. Yeah. But, you know, it's like Sean Dock. He says if the window ends with no more signings, I'd give it a 4 out of 10. I think we need a centre-back and a right-back. The whole Lavia and Casido thing was embarrassing. So there is still, concerns.
Yeah.
There are concerns. What's your take on that?
What's Maddie mentions Caicedo, because we were never going to buy him.
No.
That was just a PR stunt to drive the price up for Chelsea, and they fell for it. Lavia, we just fannied about, basically, and with the bids we put in for him. We do need a centre-back. Do you know, I can't see us buying another right-back. I really can't.
No.
But you could play Endo there.
Yeah, and do you know what's weird? This whole Lavia situation, Lavia's only had 35 games as a professional footballer.
Yeah.
And they wanted 50 million. I don't actually blame Liverpool for not matching 50 million. And then Pochettino told Sky Sports the other day that Lavia might even see the subs bench some games. You know, it's just... They just paid the 50 million because they wanted him. They just want young talent with no plan. They got no plan for Lavia. Zero. They just saw him as a young talent that they can have.
The whole squad.
And Liverpool went to 45 million for Lavia, exactly the same as Gravenberch, which tells me they viewed him as the same kind of profile with the same kind of value. Southampton just wanted ridiculous money for him.
Yeah.
I don't blame the club not meeting that value. But if it's someone Klopp wanted, that's my only issue. Like, if the manager wanted him, maybe he should just overpaid. But at the same time, I don't blame him not going for 50 million for someone who's only played 35 professional games.
Absolutely.
Well, but Sean, I think he just answered Sean Dock's question there.
And as Keith said earlier on, I think Klopp actually, the player that he wanted was Gravenberch, wasn't it? Obviously, he wanted Szoboszlai and McAllister. But
I don't think Klopp wanted Caicedo. Caicedo at all. I think he sees Caicedo as a bit of a mercenary who's just using teams as stepping stones.
But he wanted to go everywhere.
Klopp don't like
Arsenal.
Klopp don't like that kind of player. He says you like. I remember reporters were saying, "How you going to get players?" There's something about being in the Champions League. He said, "We're Liverpool. You want to come to us? You want to come to us because we're Liverpool.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter where we are. You want to come to us because we're Liverpool." I don't think he would ever want. I know the Athletic put out an article that he started calling Caicedo and messaging Caicedo and all that. He's got to do that. It's his due diligence. He's the manager. He's got to go, if we're in for him, I better get on the blower to him and have a chat and all that.
And obviously he shows.
And I just don't think he ever wanted it. I literally do think he wanted Lavia. And then when Lavia weren't available, Gravenberch was the next on the list and he got his man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Listen, people out there, just press the like, please, because there's loads of yous out there, and just get the algorithm going, please. If you haven't subscribed, just subscribe. Cost absolutely nothing, and you'll see the likes of Jamie. And I've got to go on to this. Just let me go on to this, boys and girls. Because do you know what? I always lose the little. I've got monitors here. You see, it's not just one monitor. Again, now. It's just not one monitor. I just want to go on to here. It's at Scarfer Badge. If you go on a match on Sunday, they're open 2 hours, isn't it?
There you go.
Modeling
one tonight.
Yeah.
The Wembley one.
Pair of us. And, at Scarfer Badge, real good quality stuff. I'm going up there on Sunday myself because I'm away next week. And this is why Steve's here with me, because he'll be doing the show with our friends.
Depending on my hours.
Depending on his hours. Anyway, where's this bloody... can you see that? I don't know where... Oh, there it is.
Do you have to go to that one and then slide on?
No, I couldn't see
there you go.
The thing. And this fella here, you want to get onto his chat. Jamie Phillips football chat. Absolutely brilliant. And he does a coffee morning one. He just... like that. I've got me cup of tea. No, Jamie, it's a cup of tea for me, mate. But it's really good. I just have a go at Jamie. He's got a fantastic show. And that's why I'm absolutely delighted to have him on. So that's us. That's Jamie and me and everyone. Absolutely. And the social one, I'm taking that away with me when I'm away next week, the social one.
I just ordered it.
Go away, have you?
Yeah, I just ordered it.
Oh, brilliant. We're going to tell Marius. He's a
I'm coming up to Liverpool at the end of September.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm coming out to Liverpool at the end of September for the weekend.
Oh, Jamie, you'll have to. I'll send you my. Jamie, do you know what? I can't get hold of you, you know. And this is why we have to ask Daz.
I'll follow you on Twitter. We follow each other on Twitter.
Get him on Twitter.
All right, say everyone shouts at me. Just get me on Twitter. Jamie, you've got to come and see me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Keith will come. Keith will be there.
Yeah, I've got. I go to Liverpool usually every summer. We go to Liverpool. Me, the kids, and the wife. We always go up to Liverpool every summer, and we usually do a weekend up in Liverpool every year. So we just haven't got to it this summer yet, but we're going at the end of September. So yeah.
Well, if it's a nice day, I'll take you around. And what am I like? Come on, tell them.
You'll bore you to death within 5 minutes. Talking absolute codwallop.
All right, so put the kids to sleep. That'd be all right. That'd be good.
Oh, well, that's it,
I can recommend anything, Jamie. Go and see the new all the murals around the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I haven't seen it yet.
Talking of Bobby, have you seen the documentary yet?
Yeah.
I saw it last night. I had dust in my eyes.
Yeah, it is scary. But yeah, I'm up there at the end of September for the last weekend of September anyway. Last weekend of September. So that's when I'm up there. I think I'm there Friday till Sunday night.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, boys, it's been an absolute buzz tonight. And I just like to say to the people, there were loads and loads of comments, and I really couldn't get through every single one of them. But believe me, I'd love to. And I've got to thank this man here, Jamie Phillips. He's absolutely wonderful, great fella, great everything. The show, as I mentioned before. Jamie Phillips chat, absolutely brilliant. Got great guests on as well. Do you know
merchandise shop is open soon as well? So
well, there you go. Do you know I'd love to come on with you, Jamie?
Yeah, you come on whenever you like, man. We'll get it all sorted. Don't worry.
You know where K-Mac? Does he ever come on? Yeah,
K-Mac's on all the time.
Oh no, would he ever come on this one?
Yeah, of course he would. Yeah, I'll give him your information. Yeah, come on.
Would you ask him? Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I'll give him your information.
Keith, you and Keith, and then.
Frank, can I just what Darren was saying before? I've done Darren's show with him. It's going on YouTube. It's not about football. It's about mental health. Obviously, with my being a therapist counsellor, it's purely about mental health, and especially for men. So it's Darren actually turned around and said, which was I took as a massive compliment, it was one of his favourite shows that he's done because it was different. It was not football. It was a serious subject. So please, if you do get a chance, if you can have a look at that.
I'll share that out on my community page.
Thanks very much, Jamie. Thank you.
No, it's great, because as you know, Jamie, my daughter is she packed up teaching. She was a teacher, and she packed up, and she said she wants to help people. So she's a mental health nurse now. She went back to uni, and she's she's jumped out of a plane for mental health.
Wow.
She's climbed a mountain. She climbed Nevis for mental health. And this is what, it's all about. And we've got to help these people. We really have. We've got
especially men's mental health. We don't talk about it enough. I think men think it's a sign of weakness. It's really not. Us men need to talk more to each other.
I do it sometimes.
Yeah. We need to talk more to each other. It's no doubt. We've all had days when we're down and the depression hits and things like that, and everything gets on top of you. And because guys, we sort of just try and throw it off and get on with with everything. And because us guys have got egos, it's just a natural thing in us. And, we have to be the men and just carry on. But, I've had times where I've been in dark places and stuff like that. And, it's just good to talk about. I talk to my wife about everything. I know, me and my wife, we're like best mates. So I'll talk to her about everything if I'm down and all that. She gives me a slap and tells me to get on with it. You know what I mean?
See, I think you hit the nail on the head, and with Keith being one of these lads, who talks to these poor people. I think you hit the nail on the head by talking about it.
Yeah.
By talking about it, because we all go into these dark places, and even people who are lonely as well, and they start thinking all the time, and they bring out negative thoughts, of the past or whatever. And it's easy for me to say, just think positive things. And we've all been down those dark passages that open those doors into darkness, So I think that's a great shout, that, Keith. I really do.
I think, I totally agree with what you're all saying there. At the end of the day, the best way of getting over or getting through any type of mental health, the difference for me between myself as a therapist and other therapists, and a vast majority of other therapists, is that they never went through mental health. I went through it for over 40 years. And, so I understand, So the best thing to do is open up, talk about it, and be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be honest when you talk about it, because the more you can open up and be honest about it, the better it is.
Yeah. And there's a lad who goes, do you guys ever read chat?
We have been reading, we just haven't read them out, have we? Because you have that many.
Yeah. But we have been reading them out.
Yeah, you've read a few out.
Yeah. I think it's been great myself, with the likes of... Anyway, I'll have to end it here, boys. It's been absolute... Jamie, thank you so much. And I'd love you to... Francine, my daughter, she's doing it next week. And, I'd love you to come on next week, please.
I'll go on next week, don't worry.
Oh, thanks, just... I'll be a guest as well from Turkey, where I'm going. Where in
Turkey to get the teeth done.
Where in Turkey are you going?
I'm going to Ismaila.
Ah, yeah, because I got married. Me and my wife got married in Turkey.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, we got married in Holidays on the Blue Lagoon.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, that's where I'm going next week. And I'm going to, but Francine is doing the show, and I'd love you to, she says, will you get that lad up? You keep raving about
just send me the details, I'll get on, don't worry.
Yeah, thank you so much. And the likes of Keith as well, he'll be on, and hopefully Jazz, and help it out. I know he'll be here as well to take care of everybody.
Making tea,
yeah. So, Jamie, what can I say? Thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome, man. I enjoy it, man. I enjoy it.
Cheers, Jamie.
Appreciate it.
You are the man. And Keith, thank you so much.
Cheers, lads. God bless. See you soon.
I'll see you later, Keith. Take it easy, mate. I'll get on that podcast and I'll share it as well, mate.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
That's cool, that. And on Monday, I have my history show. And if you send me details through, I'll put it on as well for you, Keith. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. You know that. You're a good guest. You're a good friend. And thank you.
Welcome. My pleasure.
What a man. I swear. Do you know, I'll have to tell you.
I've restrained myself tonight, boys.
Jamie, listen to this, please. At university, right, I'm still a host, and they get hold of me and they say, we've got students, will you put one up? And I'll, yeah, okay,
What's this story?
So anyway, this is true. This was only a couple of years ago. So anyway, I went, yeah, okay. And this young South Korean girl, tiny little thing, and she just shows up on my door. She said, hello. And this girl was traveling around the world. So I said, oh, yeah, brought her in. And so I made her comfortable and something to eat. And I said to her, how would you like to go around Liverpool? I'll take you around. And she said, yes, I've been told about you. I said, okay. Phones him up. And I said, stay. I said, do you mind? And he said, no, get down here, bring her in, because where he works. Can I tell them where you
Yeah,
were?
Liverpool Town Hall.
Liverpool Town Hall. So he says, yeah, get down here. So anyway, now me and this little South Korean, tiny little ping, you know, and we walk in, you know, Steve's standing there in the corner, but there was a big crowd of people on a little tour, right? They were all on a tour, but they all knew Frank. I didn't know, they all knew Frank, so all the heads turned, oh, where's Frank here? And he's in the corner, and he shouts over to me, Frank, and I went, oh, I your mail order brides that you ordered.
Jesus Christ.
And all the heads changed. And they all believed him. And he disappeared.
I don't know, laughing down the corridor.
But after that, honestly, I was going around town, but I couldn't just say, anyways, and I was meeting people who were new. And I was saying, oh, this is a South Korean student, you know, just showing them around. Because they could have been saying the same as him. Is that your mail order bride? Oh, so embarrassed. This is it. Anyway, great fella, great friends, and I'm just saying, Jamie, thank you so much. And Keith,
Yeah, pleasure.
I'll see you.
God bless Jamie.
Later, boys.
Thank you. Thank you so
Salah.
much. Thank you so much. Love you. Really love. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're a good man, David.
It was
You're
good.
a good man.
Good.
You're
Enjoyed that.
Thank you. And I'm glad you did, because I'd love you to do with us, France, if you can, that is.